This is an 1888 Upper West Side, incredible 8,000 square foot townhouse with 17 rooms, 6 bedrooms, 5 baths, 10 fireplaces, a 6-stop elevator, and wood paneling that will knock you over. The house was commissioned in 1888 and it was completed 4 years later by the famed architects Hugh Lamb and Charles Alonzo Rich. What are we doing here today? We're talking to the designer of this incredible transformation, bringing this house from 1892 to 2021, Tamara Eaton of Tamara Eaton Designs. Who engineered and designed the transformation of this house that was commissioned in 1888, finished in 1892 for 2021? She did. This is Tamara Eaton of Tamara Eaton Designs. I'm Lee Stahl, the CEO of Renovated Home. And this, come on, is Designers Coast to Coast. So how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. This is the first in-person interview I've been able to do. Everything else has been Zoom. It's kind of cool.
Well, we're on site so often now that, things are really coming together.
So, as Mariah's showing everybody the walk around of this incredible transformation and what you turned this place into, and I was thrilled to be a part of it, my question is, are you pleased?
It's not done, so I'm not 100% pleased yet, but we are 99% there.
You're one of those. You
can't take it in. Totally. I'm
yeah.
like, and then there's this, and then there's that. But you know what? I have to say, I am so impressed and pleased with everyone who's been working on the project, because I think it's really something that I think all of us are going to be beyond proud of.
I think so too. And then clients are.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's also really cool. Like, we're doing something that's a little out of the comfort zone for a lot of people, and I think the clients were so happy and willing to go a little bit outside of the box, which I think is a successful project.
What's the creative process for you?
So I think the creative process starts from, what is the house? What is the apartment? What is the thing that we're doing?
Right.
Who are the clients?
Right.
And then what is the goal?
Right.
And I think that dovetailing all of those things together, you understand what the personality of the project will be.
Sure.
And then that's kind of the global vision of the project, and just kind of always working the design back into that.
Absent this project, you only have one favorite project from the past. What is it?
It's my smallest, cheapest project, and it was my own apartment back in the day on 23rd Street in Chelsea. And it was the design amazing? No, I knew I was gonna leave pretty quickly, but I was also the client. And it was my favorite project because I learned client perspective. And I had not had that before. And I think that you can learn so much from other people, but you have to actually experience that kind of pain from the client perspective as well to really understand what they're going through. So from a business perspective, I think that was miles advancement of my understanding of clients.
3 words to describe your approach to life.
Honesty, that's paramount.
Okay.
Happiness. I think that shows through a lot of my work. It's not. Did you see the kids' bedroom? It's totally,
oh my God.
Yeah, like there needs to be a little joy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think honesty, happiness, and I think work ethic. Maybe that's purpose. Maybe a purpose is a better word, because I think having some kind of purpose every day, and it's this is not a job for me.
Right.
This is a life purpose.
That's it.
And that I actually don't think so many people have. No. And I'm really, really lucky I have that.
Any city you can work in the world that you haven't worked in yet, where do you want to work?
I think Paris, probably. I mean, it's like so trite to say that, but I think that the architecture there is so romantic. I've always had such a love affair with Paris. I always envision those really ornate, ornamental interiors with the super modern furniture. They're willing to take risks that Americans don't, and I think that is something that I have always admired about Europe in general.
How do you unblock your creative process? That's assuming you have a block.
That's right. That's assuming I have a block. I mean, sometimes things just don't make sense. I normally sleep on it. If something's bothering me when I wake up in the morning, I kind of know it's not right. If I've slept really well, I know it's good to go.
Oh, good.
But if I haven't slept and I'm like, God, it's not right, just like doesn't feel good, that's normally when I know.
If you could trade places with one person for one day, who would it be?
Probably a president, because that's such a thing. I think having that omnipotent kind of world around you, it would have been Obama, for sure. But I think that would have been a very cool experience, because you can't pay for it. You can't, there's just nothing that you can do to get close to what that experience in life would be like.
Right, one day.
Yeah.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
It's not a superpower, but more time. Does that count? I mean, the other one would be to fly because of traffic. I just don't like to waste time doing, from A to B. But time, if that could count.
So the next question is perfect. If you had a boat, what would you name it?
Would it be time? Don't waste my time.
If you could shop for free in one store, what would it be?
I have to pick a really expensive store. Sure. I've always loved Ralph Pucci. I actually don't procure from them that often, but I think that they have a good sense of fine line between interiors and art and fashion, and they just feel very avant-garde to me. And so I actually really like some stuff from Ralph Pucci. It has to be for free.
Yes, it has to be for free.
I mean, it has to be for free.
I'm going to close on this. I told you at the beginning, I don't blow smoke. I would work with you anytime, in the rain, in the snow, in the middle of a pandemic. I would love to be with you in the next one. This project came out great, and honestly, I really don't say that about a lot of people. It was a joy.
Thank you.
I can't.
I know.
But I could.
I know.
Let's go to Agata. We'll buy some chicken.
Sounds good. Lots of love.